see. Okay, sorry. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry I look like crap, but I've been not feeling too good for the whole weekend. So, today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be making a leftover dinner, which is, I hate leaving leftovers, so I like to reuse them. So what we're gonna do is I made some chicken on the weekend, breaded chicken. I made some homemade soft dough pretzels. Turned out really good. So what we're gonna do with those is we're gonna make almost like a Parmesan chicken, but with my own twist on it. And these will be turned into garlic bread chunks. So, let's get started. I need my scissors because I gotta cut that chicken. If I can find my scissors. You know, you always have that utensil drawer that just seems to, I don't know, get bigger and bigger every day that you go into it. It's like, where'd that come from? Oh, I've never seen that before. So, yeah. I should have fixed my hair. But anyways, nobody cares about what my hair looks like. Or what I look like. I don't care either. So, no editing. This is raw footage. Bear with me. So I have a pot over here. Because my sink is full right now with dishes. It's only a one sink. It's not a double sink, so you can only put stuff in there. And then you gotta let it soak. But in this pot, I have, let me grab that out. I have some homemade tomato sauce out of the garden that I'm using. I'm just defrosting it in a pot. I don't like defrosting stuff in the microwave. For some reason, it just I don't like it. We're going to be adding garlic powder, obviously, to these little babies, with a little bit of olive oil on top and some cheese. And the cheese I have here, leftover. Got to use it up. Into the sauce, I'm going to be adding Italian seasoning. So that sauce there, then I'm also going to add 1 can of ragu. Because you want to make sure that your chicken... Lexi, stop scratching that. You want to make sure that your chicken stays under the sauce in order for it to soak up all the flavors. This is the pasta we'll be using. I don't even know if I can pronounce that. Cavatappi pasta. You know, you got all these different types of pastas. You got rigatoni, you got macaroni, you got fettuccine, you got spaghetti, you got spaghettini, you know, you got penne. Technically, it doesn't make the food taste any better. Pasta is a pasta. It's the same thing. It's just different shape. So when people say, oh, you know, if you invite over somebody for dinner, you go, yeah, we're having spaghetti, and let's say homemade meatballs, and this is what you serve them. They're like, well, that's not spaghetti. Well, technically it is. It's just in a different form. So it still tastes the same, regardless. So that's my thought on it. Hold on. I just need my pop because my throat is really dry. So, into my one pan, which I'm going to refry these just to crisp up the skin a little bit more than it already is. Because it will, might as well use the rest of that, there's not much left. It will go somewhat mushy. If anybody's ever had chicken parmesan, you know that the breading doesn't stay crispy. So I like to double crisp mine. A lot of people don't, but I do. We'll turn that on. Make sure I got the right burner on. I always seem to do that. I don't know how many of you guys do, but I turn a burner on, I'm like, wrong one. So, scissors to cut the chicken. Easiest way to cut it. Goes right through the cartilage. There we go, see? 4 pieces of chicken. Put that in there. Let me just wash my hands. Let me grab a paper towel. It's that simple. A lot of people get confused on, well, you know, it's a cooked chicken, how are you going to cut it up? Well, it's a cooked chicken. You just cut it up like normal. But I always like to use scissors. Scissors are my best friend. As you can see now, I got 4 pieces of chicken. So technically it depends on who you're inviting over to your house. You can have 4 people, you know. But if I was inviting my son, I'd have to have more chicken than this. He loves his food. So the oil is starting to heat slightly. God, my throat's killing me. With these pieces, skin down. Give my dog a piece of the chicken that fell off. She loves me. Only because I give her that stuff. Don't ever give your dog bones. People always give their dog steak bones and all that kind of stuff. If you're going to give your dog a bone, make sure that it's not cooked. Raw bone. Don't ever cook a bone and give it to your dog. It splinters. Where a raw bone doesn't. Let me throw this in the garbage. And just a heads up, with this virus that's going around, the coronavirus, if you have bought any dog treats from the dollar store, they're all made in China. So to be on the safe side, because they're saying that this coronavirus has come from an animal, and you know, you're giving your dog rawhide or whatever from an animal that comes from China, just throw it out, just to be on the safe side. You know what I mean? I think it was a couple of years ago, they had a huge recall on pet treats from the dollar store that came from China. So be on the safe side. You know, I always buy my dog these. They're made here in Canada. They're a vegetable rawhide. So it breaks down in their system, unlike a regular rawhide that can take months to break down and can cause actually internal problems. So I always buy these from Pet Value. They're 99 cents each. But my dog loves them. And she's getting her veggies. on top of the veggies that I feed her all the time. So these are the best treats here in Canada anyways. I don't buy rawhide anymore. It just scares me. You know, even pig ears. You know, you see your dog, 1 minute they're chewing on it, and it's this big, and then next minute it's gone. Like, now that whole pig ear is stuck in their system. A pig ear isn't going to break down. It's not biodegradable. So, you know, just think of these things. You know, they are your family members, so. Okay, so what I'm doing is, because the chicken legs get browner faster, what I do, I'll show you. I don't know if I can turn that around, but what I do is I put the chicken legs on top of the thighs. So then that way they don't, sorry for my hand, so that way they don't burn and so on and so forth. So the rib cage always takes longer because it's got more fat and there's more bone to get through to heat it up and whatever. So and one thing about using olive oil, it burns. So you gotta watch out for that too. So now that that's doing its thing, I gotta find my other bottle of oil. I don't know what I did with it. See, and I should have cleaned that pan. That's what I'll have to use. I guess I can put them in the toaster oven. Anyways, that's gotta go in the garbage. Here's my other bottle of oil. This is one of my favorites, Aurora. Extra virgin. And it's got such a bright yellow color to it. Phenomenal. I need a spoon for the garlic. So what I'm going to do, just apply some olive oil to these pretzels. Make sure you get it in the middle. These pretzels actually turned out really good. First time I ever made homemade pretzels. I made sweet pretzels with cinnamon and sugar. And these ones I made with sea salt. They turned out fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I've actually just started taking up making my own breads. And the best thing about making your own bread is you know what goes into it. I can make 2 loaves of bread and it only has 2 teaspoons of sugar. So that's, and even it only has 1 teaspoon of sodium. So, excuse me, I'm just going to remove this off the heat because I don't want it smoking. I got my garlic powder here. For some reason, I'm so freaking lazy when it comes to putting it into a freaking shaker, which I should. You know what? Bear with me. I reuse everything, as you can tell. I'm cheap. Frugal. As long as the bottom isn't falling out of it. And even if it is, you just use some painter's tape. And you got a brand new bottle again. So I'm just going to pour a little bit in here, Just enough that I need. Because I don't feel like dumping the whole thing in. Then I get it all over the place. And then I got garlic powder stuck between my toes for the next month. Because it's landing on the floor. But there we go. And put this away. Lexi, you're in the way. So put the lid back on. See, I've had this container, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. But what I do is when it empties out, I usually take the tape off. I soak it in some hot water with soap, wash it, let it dry for a few days, and then refill it. And then put some more tape on it. You know, we want to get rid of our carbon footprint. Then people need to start thinking about reusing stuff. Talking about reusing stuff, I don't know how far my video reaches out, but here in Canada, one of the stores that we have, Sobeys, is getting rid of their plastic bags. Now, for me, myself, I reuse plastic bags. Like, we get charged 5 cents per bag that we use. So, I reuse the plastic bags. I use them for poop and scooping. You know, I use them for my shake and bake. Because those little bags that they give you for shake and bake, those aren't any good. I reuse them for a lot of reasons. And now, like, I went into Sobeys the other day, and they had their reusable bags on sale. And a reusable bag for your produce and everything was $5.99. And I'm thinking to myself, $5.99. And then I'm thinking to myself, how many people actually have reusable bags, but always forget to take them to the store? Me. And not only that, when you got reusable bags, what about when stuff leaks in them? Like raw meat. You can't just throw those into the washing machine. To me, they're unsanitary, which is going to cause a different type of disease out there. We have freaking salmonella, E. coli, Ebola, for God's sakes. You know, like, everybody's trying to get rid of the carbon footprint, but look we put everything in plastic. Everything. There's no ways around it. Like, sandwich bags, made out of plastic. You know, so what? You're not going to send food to school for your kid anymore because it's in a plastic bag? And, okay, so you're not using a plastic bag. You can go out and buy one of those sandwich boxes. Okay. How many times have you bought a sandwich box, sent it to school with your kid, never to be seen again? You see what I'm saying? I don't have the money to be running out every second day to be buying my son, daughter a new sandwich box because they lost theirs at school. You know, so there's, I don't know. I just get frustrated when it comes to that kind of stuff. Anyways, we're gonna put some, ooh, that's just a wee bit. I love garlic though. There's some garlic salt on there. Garlic is really good for you. It's the cure-all of end-alls. You know, I remember growing up, I used to have my grandmother on my dad's side, who believed in natural remedies, down-home natural remedies. And if you had the cold or the flu, definitely eating chicken soup for the next 3 days. And then she would take cloves of garlic, cut them in half, rub them on the bottom of your feet, put saran wrap around your feet, and then put your feet into socks. And I tell you, that shit actually worked. And being a kid, I was pissed off. Because now I gotta go back to school sooner than I anticipated. But, you know, love of a grandparent, right? You do what you gotta do. Okay. So we got garlic salt on there. Now, chicken is just resting. I'm going to Black Diamond is the best cheese. Expensive. Like this one cost me $8.99. Yeah, $8.99. But you know, when the store-bought brand comes on sale, I usually buy that. It's usually $5.97 or $4.97. Sometimes $3.97. So let's break that in half. I just broke the handle off of this, so excuse me. I got a ghetto freaking shredder. You know what? It still works. Just watch your fingers. I've lost many a tip. Now I'm not going to use all this cheese on the garlic bread. I'll add it in with the sauce. It'll give the sauce some consistency. And it'll give it some flavor. I don't like Parmesan cheese. Oh. Parmesan cheese reminds me of dirty feet. Call me crazy, but that's what it smells like. I don't really like strong cheese. Like, even when I buy cheddar cheese, I always buy just the mild. I don't know how anybody can eat strong. It's just gross. So, I'm just gonna throw a little bit of cheese on here. I don't want to put too much because, you know, I gotta keep my figure. Yeah, like I got one. Just to give it some stringable. That's good. I'll put a couple more in the middle of this one. A couple more in the middle of this one. That should be good. So there we go. Okay. It's starting to snow here again. It's been cold. Really, really cold. And I hate the cold. Especially with the wind that blows up and, like, I smoke, unfortunately, which is a bad thing. But having the wind blowing up while you're outside, because I don't smoke inside. No. Big no-no. Outside or not at all. It's just something, you know. You gotta look at it like, okay, I smoke. My son doesn't smoke, so I don't want him coming to my house, and my house smells like smoke. So, you gotta have respect for your kids. You know. I've always been like that. Outdoors or not at all. Okay, so that cheese I'm gonna set aside. Just pick up the smidgens here. Oh, shit. Somebody's at my door. Hold on. Ooh. Sorry about that. Just some kids coming to the door to see if I wanted my snow removed. Sorry, not today. Okay, so the chicken, you're gonna see a lot of movement around here. The chicken is done. I don't know if you can see that, because I can't see nothing. You got the 4 pieces of chicken in there. Yum. Then my tomato sauce is defrosted. Here, I'm going to try to set this phone up somewhere where you can see. A second. I don't have a tripod or anything, so bear with me, people. There we go. So now, the tomato sauce is somewhat defrosted. I don't want that in there. That's ice. Nothing like fresh tomato sauce out of the garden. I just put my tomatoes into a blender and I puree them. Just a little bit of salt, and that's it. Oh, and a tiny bit of sugar, because I suffer from heartburn, and sugar seems to take the acidity away from the tomatoes. 1 second. Just washing my hands. Okay, so we got that in there. We're going to turn the heat back on. We're going to put the can of ragu in there. Go. Then the pot that tomato sauce is sitting in and defrosting, we're going to fill up with some water. Bear with me. Sorry. My phone doesn't move. Let's see, go drool somewhere else. Fill it up with some water. I don't know if that's enough water. Move, Lexi. Bear with me. See, one thing I have a hard time with being single is figuring out the pasta, how much to cook. I usually overcook, and then I got pasta for the next 10 days. And I don't know about y'all, but I can't eat pasta for 10 days. It's just virtually impossible. But what I do is I take the pasta and I turn it into a pasta salad, or I make it into a pasta lasagna. Lexi, go on. Hold on, my dog's driving me crazy. This is starting to bubble. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Just move the chicken pieces around. See, I still have that big frozen piece of tomato sauce. See, this, technically with 4 pieces of chicken, that's 4 dinners for me. So for somebody who's single, you know, you gotta make things last, right? Because I hate throwing food out. I really do. It just annoys me. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the water on for the pasta. There's water all over the floor. Put some salt. This is sea salt that I'm using. I don't use regular table salt because table salt has been bleached. It's technically not even table salt. It's not even salt. So, there's that. Then I'm going to get my Italian seasoning. Don't just drop it in. When it comes to seasoning, the best thing to do, put it between your hands and rub it. It releases all the oils. Smell like an Italian. Put that away. Get some black pepper. The black pepper. Oh, see? I jumped too soon. I forgot. A sprinkle of salt.